It's here then, the one you've all been waiting for. What is in at number one on the Jon Coupland Cars Countdown to Christmas Advent Calendar of mistakes, financial ruin, mechanical problems, and actually good buys? Well, there's no video for you on this one. It's just some chat and some photographs because this was pre-Jon Coupland Cars YouTube. But I think you're going to love it. Everybody in Malaysia is going to love it. I loved it, and it's the one I really wish I hadn't sold. Let's take a look. Number one then, look at it. Did you see that coming? It's a Perodua Kelisa, also built in Malaysia, just like my first love, Proton, this one being the EXI 2007 plate. And if you're sat there thinking, hang on John, I've never heard of you owning this car before, well, there's a very good reason that I'm quiet about it, because it genuinely bugs me that I let this one go. Oh, there's a Nissan Bluebird on my drive there as well in that picture. I didn't film anything for YouTube. This was pre-YouTube time. This was purely when I was buying cars for me that interested me, and I am devastated that I let this one go and had nowhere to keep it at the time, and I needed the money out of it. So I'm launching a campaign this Christmas, which is Find My Perodua Kelisa FX57 LTT. We will discuss its history in a minute, but as you can see there, it was mint. Absolutely mint condition. 11,594 miles from new when I bought it. It was supplied locally by DRM Motors in Skegness to a female owner who lived in the little village of Wainfleet. Hence it's got the FX Fens and Forests prefix. It was used by her until her death, and then it was traded in at DMC Motors, who is actually a friend of mine, Knock, shout out to Knock, who has that garage. It's a second-hand car garage, and he buys and sells cars, obviously. He is based next to Neil, my MOT tester. So one day I took a Proton, I believe, to an MOT test, and Knock came through and went, I've got something that you want to look at. And he was absolutely right. He showed me this, and I immediately fell in love with it. Brand new, almost. One previous owner, and it was £1,500. And again, at that time, I didn't have Jon Coupland Cars. I wasn't in the current career I'm in. I wasn't as financially stable as I currently am, or lucky. So I didn't have £1,500 to go and spend on a toy to add to my collection at that time. So I let it go, and I was like, oh, Knock, I would love to, but I can't. Anyway, a few months later, Knock messaged me to say, have you seen that car that you fell in love with is for sale on Facebook Marketplace? It's the lady I sold it to, young lady, 17, had just passed her driving test and wanted a first car. She's gone and bought a Peugeot 107 or something, which has got a lot more street cred and usability than a low mileage Perodua Kelisa, I have to admit, and that was great news for me. So I messaged her immediately on Facebook Marketplace. She had the car up for sale for £700. I knew the car, I didn't even need to look at it, and I went round the corner, literally it was about 4 streets away, and gave her £700. I had to have this car. I was devastated that I missed out on it first time round, and for £700 I could then afford that as a toy. I drove it home. Mrs. Jon Coupland was furious, and my dad thought it was a fantastic little car, but was like, what are you going to do with that? And again, this was pre-me collecting weird and wacky cars and having the channel. But I washed it, I cleaned it, and then I had this exponential crisis. What am I going to do with it? It's too good to use. I couldn't use it as a daily driver. I couldn't give it to my mum to use. I didn't want to put it in the garage and let it just rot away and sit there and not be enjoyed. And I couldn't let Mrs. Jon Coupland use it because, well, she hated the blooming thing, and it was what it was. It was really a wacky museum piece, in my opinion. You might be laughing at that. But when did you last see a Perodua Kelisa EXI in almost new condition? I think it was missing the original wheel trims because it had been spec'd differently by the lady. But apart from finding a showroom that still had one in it, where are you going to find one of these? Anyway, I put it online on one of these when did you last see a car forums, and I was contacted by a chap that had a old Perodua garage. He had an old garage somewhere down in Bournemouth, and he offered me £1,500 for it without even looking at it. He said, I want to buy it. It's £1,500. I will double your money today. And I couldn't turn down, at that time, 750 quid, 800 quid profit. I couldn't. And it to me was going to go to a good place. He was an elderly gentleman, and he used to own a classic garage. And he came up on the train the next day, paid Mrs. Jon Coupland the cash. I didn't realise he was coming up the next day, and drove the car away. And it's never been taxed, insured or MOT'd since. It's sitting somewhere. I know it's somewhere. I know it's in his collection. And so I reiterate, my job this Christmas for you and for everybody is to try and find this car. Where is it? The clues I have is that he came up from Bournemouth on the train, and he told me he had an old Perodua garage with a big glass front, and that's where it was going to sit. So if you've seen this Perodua Kelisa in a garage down south and you know where it is, let me know, because I want this car back for my collection. I think it belongs with me as well. It really deserves to be part of the Coupland collection, and I would love to start using it and taking it to shows. Festival of the Unexceptional, local car shows, Rustival 3. Could you imagine if we found it and got it back for Rustival 3? Anyway, that is what is at number one. I'm sorry I didn't have a video to show you, but hopefully you can see from the images just how good it is, and you can hear from my voice just how passionate I was about this car and how gutted I am that I sold it. Don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for the 750 quid or 800 quid that I made on the car, but I want it back, this one. And this is why it's at number one behind the door of the advent calendar. I'm going to have to start talking about it more on the internet now I've released this as number one, and we are going to have to try and find it. It's out there somewhere. Somebody knows where it is. It would be great, even if I can't buy it back, if the owner doesn't want to sell it, because that's his prerogative, right? To go and see it and have a good look around it and finally make a proper video on this car for the channel. I genuinely hope you enjoyed number one. I genuinely hope it was a surprise to you and you didn't see it coming. And I genuinely hope we can find it. I wish you all a massive Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks to everyone that supported the channel this year. A full countdown video is coming for you to watch on your Christmas day. Which was your favourite from the 12 that we've counted down? Which did you think I did well to get rid of? Which did you think, John, you should have kept that? And where are we going to find this Perodua Kelisa? Because that is my mission for 2025. Take care. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. There you have it then, another peek at another car from the Coupland collection on our 12 days to Christmas countdown. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up please. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. Comment down below, what did you reckon? Should I have kept it, or did I do the right thing with it? As ever, thank you for watching this video. Dad and I have selected a couple more videos for you that we think that you might like. They're here now. Just give them a click to watch them. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. It means a lot to us. Thank you.